When people ask me which flash I use and recommend, for years I pointed to the Lightpix Labs Flash Q Q20II. They never paid me or gave me a flash for free. In fact, I bought several units myself. I liked it so much that I told everyone to get one too. However, in today's video I'm going to give you several reasons why I stopped recommending it and why I no longer use it myself. I believe there's a much better alternative, and in this video you'll learn what it is. Life often can take unexpected turns. At one moment, something in your life can seem like a match in heaven, but then, unexpectedly, you find yourself falling out of love with it. Lightpix Labs Flash Q Q20, we need to talk. My Lightpix Labs Flash Q Q20II. We need to talk. Well, what can I say? You failed me, and it's already the third time. I simply can't take it anymore. From now on, we have to go our separate ways. I'm sorry to tell you that, but I've already replaced you. So, sorry, there's no going back. Now, you might be wondering what's going on, and rightly so. Back in 2019, I picked up my first Lightpix Labs Flash Q Q20II, and it was love at first sight. I mean, look at the size of it, and then the fact that you can easily take it off camera. It has a built-in receiver and the transmitter is so tiny. You can use rechargeable batteries, and charging them in the unit itself by plugging it in, that's genius. On top of all of that, it comes with color gels that you can easily slide in front of the flash head. You might be even more confused now because I'm praising the flash for all its great features, but I'm still dumping it. Please hear me out, you'll soon find out why. This is now my third copy of the flash, so here is what happened. The first one that I got 5 years ago, I shot a lot on throughout an extended trip in Asia. When I got back home, I noticed that the reflector in the flash head and also the color gel I used looked burned. I contacted the company and they asked me to send it in. And after a few weeks, they sent me a brand new one, which was good. But they also told me that it's not meant to be shot at a higher power setting too many times in a row, because otherwise it's going to overheat. So that brings us to the first issue, overheating. I managed to misplace my second copy of the flash, so I ordered another one. Now, after the overheating issues, I try to be a little bit more careful when using it. But it happened again, as you can see here. Luckily, I found my misplaced flash, and on my last trip to Thailand, I brought and used both. This one I only used a few times. If you take a closer look, what do you see? Yes, it also looks burned. That happened even though I was very careful and rarely used it at full or even half power. The issue is that it has no overheating protection. Yes, it still works just fine, but I'm not happy about that. That brings us to issue number 2, slow recycle time. Especially when shooting at an event like I did earlier this year and trying to get a few shots quickly, I was limited by the recycle time of the flash. I missed a bunch of potentially great shots because the flash wasn't ready. That difference can be the key to getting a decent photo or a great shot. In such settings, a slow recycle time can hold you back and cause you to miss potentially great images. Even at 1/8 power, it takes over 1 second for the flash to be ready again. It's not an issue most of the time, but when it is, it's frustrating. Of course, that's not all, because we also have an issue number 3. In the beginning, I only had it once in a while that the flash wasn't firing, but over the last year it seems to happen more often than before. On some days, the flash wasn't firing every 3 to 4 shots out of 10. Even with a fresh set of batteries, it happened a few times in different locations. I've heard similar stories from other users, but I couldn't relate to it until now. That brings us to issue number 4. There are a lot of street photographers out there who are using this flash. And that causes another issue. On this flash, there's no way to assign it to a specific channel for shooting off camera. It seems to be random. So if you're in a place where a lot of people use this flash, there's a high chance of somebody's Q20II being on the same channel. And every time that that person presses the shutter, your flash will fire too, and vice versa. And that, of course, can quickly become an issue. Yes, you can reconnect the receiver to the flash, and that seems to pick a random channel for the wireless connection. But there's no way to influence the outcome, and that's not great. For me, as a professional photographer, gear that fails on me becomes a liability, especially when shooting for clients. I would immediately replace any unreliable unit because such failures cannot happen. Although I'm not using this flash for client work, the mindset remains. It is finally time to find a replacement that will eliminate the issues I had with the Q22. Don't get me wrong, if you only use this flash occasionally, it might still be a good option, but for me, it no longer fits the bill. Some people argue that size doesn't matter, but apparently it does, and I had to get something a little bit bigger. Now, before I reveal my new setup, I have an exciting announcement to make. If you're looking to elevate your street photography to the next level, I might have something for you. Over the last few weeks, I've put together the ultimate guide to flash in street photography. A comprehensive course designed to transform your approach to capturing life on the streets. We cover everything you need to know, from understanding flash power and choosing the right gear, to using creative off-camera techniques and mastering difficult lighting conditions. Flash isn't just about more light, it's about control. Whether you're shooting in crowded areas, balancing flash with ambient light, or even experimenting with film, this course has you covered. And yes, we'll even dive into editing techniques to ensure your flash shots really stand out. So, are you ready to change the way you see street photography? Sign up now for the ultimate guide to flash in street photography, and let's capture the world in a whole new light. The challenge was to find a flash trigger that isn't too big and bulky. I know that Lightpix Labs, they also have flash receivers that you can attach to any flash, but those are plagued with the same issues, misfires and interference with other Lightpix Labs triggers. So a few months ago, Godox released the X3 line of flash triggers, and that got me sold. I picked up the X3 and a Godox TT350 flash. It's a little bit bigger than the Flash Q Q20II, but it has almost double the power and much shorter recycle times. It also has a built-in overheating protection, which is nice to have. It works very well, especially in the combination with the X3 flash trigger. They don't have a specific Leica version yet, so I got the Panasonic one that I can use also on my Lumix cameras. It also works without any issues on my Leica Q3 and also on my Leica M6. I use it of course in manual modes, so there's no TTL or high-speed sync, but I don't really mind because I'm not using it anyway. The flash is fairly affordable, and they also have a version with a rechargeable battery, which is almost double the price. And I'm not sure if it's worth it, but I honestly prefer using AA batteries because those are easy to find once you run out of juice. If you want to check it out for yourself, I will put a link in the video description. Okay, from now on, I'm going to put the new setup through its paces and will report back in a few months to let you know what my findings are. Let me know if you have experienced any issue with the Q22 or if you have experience using this flash, the Godox TT350. And don't forget to check out my new course on using flash for street photography, which is on discount now for a short period of time. The link you'll find in the video description, or you can just scan this QR code that you can see over here. Alright guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one, hopefully very soon. Until then, auf Wiedersehen.